Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, and we're live here at the Logan Power Show studios, just doing something in the computer lab, just having some fun. And I want you all who are watching this to continue to support the Logan Power Show. Go to our website today, www.theloganpowershow.us. Definitely go to our website, donate today. Your donations help us keep us moving forward. And hey, we're excited for what you all are doing. Definitely follow us on YouTube, looking up the Logan Power Show. Follow us on Facebook, the Logan Power Show. Also on Twitter, when you look up the Logan Power, and then on Instagram, the Logan Power Show as well. Well, got me two ladies here at the Logan Power Show, talking about their business. And this their first time here at the Logan Power Show. MMS Protection, the one and only Miss Gwendolyn, Miss Sabrina. How you ladies doing today?
Doing very well, Calvin. Thank you. How about you?
Good, fantastic. Yes.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, hey, definitely, I appreciate you. And I know Ms. Gwendolyn was the one who reached out to me first. She was telling me you're starting a new business venture, so I'm really excited. So tell us about the company and what you ladies have going on today.
Okay. Sabrina, you want to kick us off?
Certainly. Hi, everybody. My name is Sabrina Sheppard. I am a native Charlestonian. I've lived here all of my life, and for the past 32 years, I've worked for state government. What I do is I am a licensed insurance producer here in Charleston, and I am here to have a conversation with you and to give you some information and some insight on how you can protect yourselves and your family members. Gwen?
And I'm Gwendolyn McCullough, also a Charlestonian native. And I've been working in corporate America for a number of years, helping employees really to one of the things that I was responsible for, helping them to identify the benefits that would be suitable for them. And so when Sabrina and I talked, we wanted to venture out and do something for ourselves, but still in the breadth of being of service. So we thought the insurance environment was a great space, because I don't think like in our communities that we take full advantage of how insurance can be a critical element when we're talking about preparing for the future, even as it relates to retirement. So we really are very excited about getting out and educating people about the advantages of insurance, and then just trying to identify the right mix that would work for them as individuals and then for the family as a whole.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you all just coming into so we can educate us on the importance of insurance. So with your company, what kind of insurance is provided?
Okay.
Well, we offer life insurance and mortgage protection. One of the things that a lot of people don't want to do is they don't want to have those very hard conversations, those very hard and very necessary conversations. You know, and I did some digging around and I took a look at some numbers, and there are about 80% households that don't have prepared, they have not prepared for death. We have to prepare for death. You know, I was just telling Gwen that the cost of living has gone up so much, but to tell you the truth, the cost of dying has gone up as well. And I got into this business when I was looking to actually supplement the insurance that my mother had to ensure that she had everything that she needed, because my father had already passed away 6 years prior. So I got into this business, and I was introduced to this business while I was looking for some additional insurance for my mother. And I thought, you know, I can do this too, you know. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to go into the homes, speak to families, and I want to be the buffer to be able to help the family have those very hard conversations. I would ask Mr. Jones, are you prepared to stay in your home when Mrs. Jones dies? People often say, well, if something happens, it's not if, it is when, because we are all born. That means we're all going to die.
Yeah.
That is very true. And we want to be fully prepared. We don't want a GoFundMe account. We don't want a Facebook post asking for monies to help bury our loved one. We don't want to have to mortgage our homes as collateral to the funeral home. You know, you have, and there are certain things that you're going to have to do. Having vested into mortgage protection to be able to stay in that home, having vested your monies into insurance to be able to maintain your life, to be able to bury your loved one, that's something that I want to help you do.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Okay.
definitely that's a mouthful of a lot of information. Just to break it down to some of the people that are there listening to us. When she talks about mortgage protection, when you get a home, um, you have it set to say, for instance, if the person who's ever is on the mortgage, they were to die today or tomorrow, that particular mortgage insurance that you got will cover for the house, pretty much pay it off. Um, it's an old like an old saying. Um, there is no more land available you can purchase. It ain't no like there's no new land, no new world somewhere.
That's right.
Land's always being recycled. So, but when you do
Right.
have property, property has equity, property value. That type of investment it's old mythology of method, but it works.
Right.
Land is something is just as good as gold, just as good
Exactly.
as and it's better than cash because
Mhm.
the dollar is always fluctuating, it's not consistent. But
Right.
land, um, like you learn this in school if you're in business class. You learn about assets. So you
Right.
have to learn about the couple of things. Assets, land, that's
Yes.
big. You learn about stocks. Now
Yeah.
stocks are high risk, so sometimes it depends if it's a high risk stock, things like that. You learn about land. You learn about also diamonds, very very high in property. You learn about gold. You learn about silver. Things that are very can always don't lose their value. They're
Mm-hmm.
always gonna grow.
Right.
People say, well, Calvin, I live into a bad neighborhood and the land value is bad. Well, just a little history. Um, Las Vegas was the desert.
Yes.
That land was pennies to a dollar back then.
Mm-hmm.
If you had saw the future and you said, "Hey, Las Vegas told you today, hey Calvin, I'll give you 1,000 acres for $10,000." You probably sell your house, you sell your car, say everything is mama because you know what Las Vegas turned into.
Right.
That property, that value would have been billions of dollars. Just the strip alone. From
Hmm.
if you own 50 acres of Las Vegas in the prime strip of Las Vegas, you're talking about millions and billions of dollars just off of the property value of money that's constantly recycling. So that's why I want people to understand the importance of land values from there. Um, so
Absolutely.
go ahead. So Ms. Gwendolyn, what are some other things you all provide as well?
Well, we actually have a product that's called, Becoming Your Own Family Bank. And it's really designed for individuals to take a look at their current debt situation and developing a pathway to become debt free. And the unique thing about this particular product is that it's three-folded, right? Because you do have the insurance piece, and then you have the debt-free component. And then if you continue after you have wiped out that debt, you have tax-favored income towards retirement. So it's like, the three three-prong factor, if you will. I mean, you are hitting what, three balls with one stone. And I love that concept because, you know, kids are coming out of college with debt. And when they go into their first jobs, you know, after a very short period of time, you're having to pay that loan, having to start paying that loan. And it's been a minute since I've been out of school now, but I understand that that loan, I mean, they give you, it could be anywhere from 15, 20 years in terms of paying it back. So when you think about your debt, it doesn't just include the amount that you borrowed. The longer you take to pay it back, the more monies that you are actually paying. So if I came out of school with a debt of $10,000, because they're giving me 10, 15, 20 years to pay it back, I could very well triple the amount that I end up paying for my student loan. So it's mind-boggling when you factor in the interest. So this product is going to help you take a look at your current budget because it's designed for people not to spend any more than what their current budget allows. So it's allowing you to take a look at your budget and become more efficient with the dollars that you have to work with. So when I first saw this, I thought this is a game changer because what we want to do within our own communities is start to think about developing generational wealth, right? It's not just about what I am going to do in terms of my lifetime, but let me prepare my children, my children's children, in terms of positioning them for success. It's not a new concept. It's something that has been around for years, but we now have access to it. And I actually have a presentation here. If we have a few minutes, I could just run through it and kind of show a scenario as to how debt-free life and becoming your own family bank is such a game changer for us.
Sure, definitely. The floor is yours. Show it for us.
Okay. So the first thing I want to do is just kind of talk about, you know, the average American household in terms of debt. Statistically speaking, our average debt is about $250,000. And what this pie chart represents is that in terms of our income, we're going to spend 40% of our monies in taxes, 34% of our monies in interest, less than 25% goes to our everyday lifestyle. And then we managed to carve out 3% in terms of savings. But what you can do on your family bank, we're going to shift the pie chart, if you will. You're going to spend less in taxes. You're going to spend less in interest. You're going to increase the amount of money that you're managing to spend on your lifestyle, and you're going to save more monies. So the whole premise is to reduce the volume of interest that we're paying to our lenders, to get out of debt in 9 years or less, improve your cash flow, decrease taxes, and then if you're in a position where you need to save for college for your children, it helps you with that as well. But equally important, you end up with a retired tax-favored income. Mm-hmm. So let's look at a typical scenario here. Here we have Mark and Joyce. And so they're mid to late 30s. Their combined income is a little over $7,000. Their desired income, their desired retirement age is 65, and they want to have about $5,000 for income in retirement. They have 3 children. They haven't begun anything in terms of saving towards their retirement, and they have saving towards their education, and they have less than $100,000 in a 401k. And their net worth is less than $750,000. So for them, they're interested in increasing their retirement income, college planning, reducing that debt, getting that spending under control, increasing their savings, and then develop wills and trusts. That's where we talk about that generational wealth here.
Okay.
So when we looked at their income, or we looked at their budget, they actually have $25 that's going towards an emergency account, and their current value in that is $6,000. And then they have $300 that they are investing in their 401k, and then you see the current value at $36,500. So, their debt is pretty typical. They got the credit card, they got the furniture, the automobile, the mortgage. Their average interest rate is about 10%. But when you look at their total debt, and that's going to be the balance on each one of those line items, it's a little over $180,000. And their monthly payment is a little over $2,000. So those numbers are really key. So let's kind of, keep that in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if Mark and Joyce were to continue on their current path and they're on a 30 years of debt payment, then when you think about what we saw their debt to be, over $180,000, it actually is $380,000 because you have to factor in the interest that would be paid over that 30-year period. So when you think about debt, you can't just see look at a balance statement and say, oh, I only owe $500. But if you take 2 years to pay it off, you're going to be paying like $1,500, So you really have to think about the time frame, which is equally as important here.
Exactly.
So when we think about their current situation, they have $36,500 in a retirement account, $300 contribution, and the tax rate, and then their tax bracket. If at the end of 30 years, if they continued on this path, they would have saved a little over $408,000, which really isn't bad. But you have to remember the 401k is a tax deferred product. So once you pay Uncle Sam, and in this scenario, given their tax bracket, they will end up with a little over $306,000 after taxes for retirement. So, most of us want to live as long as we can in retirement and not worry about money. But in this scenario, this is what this couple is dealing with, a little over $306,000. So let's take a look at what your family bank would do for them. It would free them from their lenders in less than 8 years. It would save them in interest payments of over $122,000. They will free up that $2,100 when you took a look at all of their budget and all of their expenses was a little over $2,000. It's going to free that up because we're paying off their lender. And then they have over $1 million in savings in the 30-year period. That same 30-year period, if they were on the Debt-Free Life program, they would have over $1 million in a tax favorable income. Pretty powerful. So before, if they stayed on their current plan, after taxes, their retirement would be a little over $306,000. With Your Family Plan Bank, it will be a little over $1 million. So what is the cost to them not to do Your Family Bank? Because remember, they were going to have over $1 million if they were on the plan. They would have saved over $122,000 in interest. It will cost them over $820,000 that they're leaving on the table if they stay with their current plan. And we tend to go with what we know, but when you have access to more, then you need to broaden the horizon. So when we look at the big picture here, typically the one thing that couples tend to have more discussion about, this says argue, but more discussion about would be money. It minimizes discussions or arguments about money. It will find wasted money in our budgets. It will improve our cash flow. It dramatically increases our savings. We get out of debt faster. We learn how to prioritize our account. And then we have that tax favorable income in retirement. So when most people see this, they want to be like Mark and Joyce. And we hope your listeners will feel the same. And if they do, then we just want them to take a look, gather some information for us. We'll make the contact. I think you're going to scroll our contact information, and then we'll work with them individually to see how this plan can fit into their budgets.
Amen. All right. Well, as you see, ladies and gentlemen, you just got your first glimpse of what we call
Your family bank.
Family bank, but also you saw something that is very interesting. For those that are watching this, I want you to see the information available on the screen of seeing how they can make your life easier. I
Yeah.
know that that's why you have to, contact them, and that way you be able to get that information to yourself and be able to make a decision what's for you. But think about it. If you made a choice and you made a change, how it impacts your life dramatically. So that's what you want to do, is make that choice. So Ms. Gwendolyn and Ms. Sabrina, we just want to thank you for coming to Logan Power Show, just sharing um, some of the things that can help somebody right now who wants to improve their life. And
Absolutely.
we
There's
thank
one
you.
thing I forgot to mention that is so critical to this. It
Got it. Go
costs
ahead.
it costs absolutely nothing for us to take one of your listeners through this process, because the main thing here is about education. And so we make the investment of time and energy, and all we need is for individuals to want to take a look at their own situation, and it costs them nothing but time and energy initially. So no commitments on the front end.
Got it. So you just heard right here, it's free consultation to be able to
Free.
free.
It's free.
And now keep in mind, when it's free, that means that once you've been given the knowledge, the part that's going to cost money, you got to put work into it. So that's what they're talking about. Free consultation will be able to, that you can speak to them, they will contact you, and by doing so, you'll have a better understanding of what needs to be done and how that would impact your life. So here at the Logan Power Show, all we say is, hey, if anything else, give them a chance, and then we go from there, okay?
Okay.
So ladies, I appreciate you being the Logan Power Show. For those that are watching this, continue to watch, continue to stay focused, keep locked, and hey, to God be the glory. Hey,
God
that's
be
all
the
that.
glory.
Yes, that's
Thank
all
you
the
so
time.
much.
No problem. That's all the time I got. My name is Calvin, the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. We love you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.